Good evening, students. Welcome back to the online classes. I am Mrs. Sunita Jupalli, your English teacher. Students, today we are going to study the 11th lesson and the last lesson of the first flight reader, that is the proposal, which is written by Anton Chekhov. Okay, Anton Chekhov, he was born on 29th of January in the year 1860 in a village, in a small village in southern Russia, and he died on 15th of July 1904. And he was a great playwright and also story writers, and he is considered to be the greatest short story writer in the world. So this is about Anton Chekhov. Now let's move on to the characters of this lesson. So in this lesson there are only 3 characters. It's a play. Okay. So before moving on to the summary and the explanation, let's become familiar with the characters of this lesson, the proposal. The characters are first character is Stepanova, Stepanovich Chubukov. He is a landowner. The second character is Natalia. Stepanova. Okay. She is the daughter. She is the daughter of Chubukov. Okay, she is the daughter of Chubukov. She is 25 years old. She is 25 year old. And the last character is Ivan Vasilievich Lumo. He is a neighbor of Chubukov. He is a neighbor of Chubukov. A large and hearty, but very suspicious, landlord or landowner also you can see. So these are the 3 characters in this lesson. First one is Stepanovich Chubukov. He is a landowner and a father of Natalia Stepanova. Okay, and she is 25 years old. And Ivan Vasilievich Lumo, he is 35 years old and he is the neighbor of Chubukov and Natalia. Okay, and he is very large-hearted but very suspicious landowner. And now let's move on to the summary of the lesson. So as the play starts, it is Ivan Lumo or Ivan Vasilievich Lumo. He comes to the home of Chubukov, who is a landowner. Actually, he comes with the intention to proposed to the daughter of Chubuko. Who is the daughter of Chubuko? It is Natalia, who is 25 years old. And whereas Lumo, that is Ivan Vasilevich Lumo, he is 35 years old. He comes in the evening well dressed and he wishes good evening to Chubuko, who was seated in the hall. And he says, Chubuko, when he sees his neighbor Lumo coming to his home, he was a bit surprised, thinking that why he has come after a long period of time. And he started asking him, come on, come and sit. And he greets him very well. And now this Lumo, he was very much excited. And he hesitated to say for what purpose he had come. Actually, he had come to propose the daughter of Chubuko. But instead of saying it directly, he says that always I have come to ask you some help and you have never told me no for it. You have never refused. You have always helped me. And now also I have come with the help, he says. And what this Chubuko thinks, he thinks that maybe Lumo has come to him to borrow or ask for some money. And he goes aside and he speaks to himself, who? Chubuko. He says that if Lumo is going to ask me some money, if he wants to borrow some money from me, I am not going to give him, he says. And he comes. And then Lumo, they start discussing about the general things, that from many days you did not come and all. And at once Chubuko, he sees that Lumo was well dressed. And he asks, are you going for any party tonight? To that Chubuko says, no, it is a casual wear. I have come to you only. And as they are conversing, finally, Chubuko, he gathers his courage and he says, this Lumo says to Chubuko that he has come with a proposal to get married to his daughter, but he is a bit excited and hesitating whether she will agree to it or no. When Chubuko hears this, that Lumo had come to propose his daughter, Natalia, he was very happy and he says that my daughter will surely agree to that. Okay, agree to your proposal. She'll be willing to marry you. And he says, you be seated, I'll go and call her. So Chubuko goes into the room and he has a talk with Natalia, his daughter. He says that your neighbor, that is our neighbor, Lumo has come, but he does not say for what reason Lumo has come to Natalia. Who? Chubuko does not say the reason why Lumo has come to their house. He only says that Lumo has come. And now this lady, Natalia, she comes out and she has a talk with whom? With the character, that is Ivan Vasilevich Lumo. She says that after many days you have come on, please sit, have lunch and go, dinner and go and other things. So he feels very excited after seeing her. And he was not clearly knowing whether it was Chubuko who has told his daughter about the proposal or no. And they start talking that we are who Natalia, she praises Lumo, saying that you are such a good neighbor and we are staying in the same area from many days. So as she says these words, it is Lumo who says that not only we are neighbors living side by side, but our fields or ox and meadows are also just side by side. And then they start the discussion on the ox and meadows. Okay. So actually when he says that the ox and meadows are his, then it is Natalia who says that ox and meadows belongs to them. It is their ancestral property, and the discussions converts into argument, and they start exchanging harsh words and they scold each other also. And then it is Chubuko who comes and he interferes. And when he came to know that Lomo is claiming the ox and meadows as his, he too starts scolding whom? Lomo. And Lomo gets upset and he goes away from the house of Chubuko. When he goes out, it is Chubuko who says to his daughter Natalia that Lomo had come with a proposal to get married to Natalia. Actually, this Lomo, he had just gone out of the house of Chubuko. That time Chubuko says to Natalia that he had come with a proposal to get married to you. Listening to that, Natalia, she says her father to call him at once because she was willing to marry him and she was not knowing the fact why Luma had come. And she requests her father to call him at once as she wanted to accept the proposal. So her father goes and calls Lumo. They come and sit and then she says, yes, I'm willing to marry. And then they have once again a discussion on the dogs. This Lumo had a dog. Okay. So Luma had a dog which was named as Guess. Okay. And even Natalia also had another dog which was named as Squeeze. And they had a talk on whose dog is good. And once again that casual talk, it converts into a hatred words because it becomes argument and then they start exchanging some hatred words. Once again this man, Lumo, he gets irritated and he was about to go and he was about to faint and fall. and he finally falls unconscious on the floor. Seeing him, once again Natalia starts shouting, scolding. She says her father that I'm feeling as though I'm losing my breath, I want to die, that, this and all. Then what poor Chubuko will do, he will sprinkle some water on the face of Lumo, and Lumo he wakes up, and that time Chubuko he will say at once, my daughter is ready to marry you, so take her hand, and he keeps his daughter's hand in the hand of Lumo, and he says that now you are going to get married, forget about the property, and in this way it is Lumo who proposes Natalia. So this is the summary of the lesson, the proposal. Now let's move on to the line by line explanation of this lesson. A drawing room in Chubuko's house. So where does the play take place? It is in the drawing room of Chubuko's house, that is Natalia's house. Lumo enters wearing a dress jacket and white gloves. Chubuko rises to meet him. So Lumo, where does he come? He goes to Chubuko's house. And how was his dress? He was wearing a dress jacket. What is dress jacket? It is a formal dress. Okay. And he was also wearing white gloves. And Chubuko, when he saw Lumo entering his house, he was seated. Chubuko was seated, but he rises up from his seat to greet whom? To Lumo. Chubuko, my dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan Vasilevich, I am extremely glad, squeezes his hand. Now, this is a surprise, my darling. How are you? So now Chubuko greets whom? Lumo, saying that, my dear fellow. He uses all this pleasing words to Lumo, saying that, my dear fellow, my darling, all these things are praising whom? It is praising Lumo. Who is praising? It is Chubuko. Okay, and he says that I am very happy to you. At the same time, it is a really surprising visit which you have given me to today evening. Lumo, thank you. And how may you be getting on? Now Lumo will say thank you. I am fine. And how about you? How are you? He will ask to Chubuko. Chubuko, we just get alone somehow. My angel, thanks to your prayers and so on. So Chubuko will say, yes, I am also very well. I am fine. And how about you? And he also says that all the prayers, God bless you, my angel. He once again praises whom? Lumo. Sit down, please do. Now, you know, you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors, my darling. So Chubuko will say to Lumo, okay, please take your seat, but never forget your neighbor, especially Chubuko. My dear fellow, why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves, and so on. Can you be going anywhere, my treasure? Now Chubuko wanted to know where Lumo was going. Why? Because Lumo, he was well dressed, he was wearing gloves, and it was evening time. So Chubuko wanted to know whether he was going to attend any party. Lumo, no, I have come only to see you, honored Stepanovich. So Lumo will say, no, I am not going anywhere to attend any party, but I have come to meet you. Chubuko, then why are you in evening dress, my precious, as if you are paying a New Year's Eve visit? So Chubuko will say, yeah, if you have come to my house, but why are you wearing such a grand dress? You just look as though you are going for a New Year Eve party. That is one day before the New Year is called as New Year Eve. Lumo, you see, it's like this. Takes his arm. I have come to you, honored Stefan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak. I must ask your pardon. I am getting excited. I shall drink some water, honored Stefan Stepanovich. So now Lumo will say, yeah, I will come to the point. For what sake I have come? I have come to you many a times. Not once or twice, but many a times asking for some help. And you have never refused to it. But since I am excited, I would like to have some water. Then I will continue my conversation, he says to Chubuko. And he drinks little water. Chubuko aside. He's come to borrow money. Shan't give him any. Aloud. What is it, my beauty? Now Chubuko, what he does? He suspects that Lumo has come to borrow some money. So he goes aside, little far away from Lumo, and he says loudly to himself. He speaks to himself. Who? Chubuko. He says that maybe Lumo has come to borrow some money from me, so I'm not going to lend him any money. So mentally he was prepared. Who? Chubuko. Lumo. You see, honored Stepanich, I beg pardon, Stepan. Honor which? I mean, I am awfully excited, as you will please notice. In short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, of course, and haven't any right to count on your assistance. So Lomo, who was so curious and excited and confused also. That is why whatever he was saying, he was not aware of it. And he pronounces the name of Stepanovich Chubuko in a wrong way. And he says that I am awfully excited. That is why please don't notice whatever I am saying, he says. And in short, he says that you alone can help me. And I don't deserve whatever I am going to ask you. I don't deserve it. But still I want it, he says. And that is only with your permission. Chubuko, oh, don't go round and round it, darling. Spit it out. Well, now Chubuko wanted to know what exactly this Lomo wanted from him. And he says, don't go round and round the topic. Please come to the point what you really want from me. Lumo, one moment. This very minute, the fact is, I have come to ask the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stepanova, in marriage. So, when Chubuko asked Lumo to tell exactly what he wanted from him, Lumo, he says, actually, I have come with a proposal to get married to your daughter, Natalia Stepanova. Okay. Chubuko, joyfully, by Jove, Ivan Vasilevich, say it again. I didn't hear it all. Lumo, I have the honor to ask. So now Chubuko was so happy and he was so joyful. He wanted to hear it once again that Lumo had come with a proposal to marry his daughter. So he says, I did not hear it properly. Please repeat it once again. And once again, Lumo says that I want to marry. I have come with a proposal to ask your daughter's hand. Chubuko, interrupting, my dear fellow, I am so glad, and so on. Yes, indeed, and all that sort of thing. Embraces and kisses Lumu. I have been hoping for it for a long time. It's been my continual desire. Sheds a tear, and I have always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. So this Chubuko is so happy, he calls Lumu as my dear fellow. And he also says that I'm so glad that you have come with this proposal, and he embraces whom? Lumo, and he kisses him. And he also says that I have always loved you just like my son. May God give you both his help and his love and so on. And so much hope. What am I behaving in this idiotic way for? I am off my balance with joy. Absolutely off my balance. Oh, with all my soul. I will go and call Natasha and all that. So even Chubuko is in confusion now. He's so happy to hear this news that Nomo has come with a proposal to get married, Natasha or it is Natalia. Okay, Natasha and Natalia is same name. That is of Natalia. He calls her with a nickname as Natasha. He says that what am I doing? I have lost my balance. It's imbalance for me. So it is better I'll go and call my daughter, whom you are going to get married. Lumo, greatly moved. Honored Stepan Stepanovich, do you think I may count on her consent? Chubuko, why? Of course, my darling, and as if she won't consent. She is in love. Yet she is like a lovesick cat, and so on. Shan't be long. So now Numa will say, do you think that your daughter will agree to marry me? To that, Chubuko will say, why will she not say yes? She is a mad girl who loves you very much, and she is just like a lovesick cat who loves you very much. I'm sure that she will agree to this proposal. Her father says that he goes to call Natalia. Exit is Chubuko goes to call Natalia. Lumo, it's cold. I am trembling all over, just as if I did got an examination before me. Now Lumo is left all alone in the room. Okay. So what is he doing? He's talking to himself. He is all alone in the drawing room and he's talking to himself. He says that he's feeling very cold and he is so shivering as though there is a examination which is going to appear just after some time. That is meeting Natalia. The great thing is, I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to hesitate, to talk a lot, to look for an idea or for real love, then I will never get married. So when he is alone, he starts thinking that he should not think too much. Okay, he should not get disturbed, and at the same time, he should not hesitate to talk freely with Natalia, and he should not talk too much also to her, and he should not have many ideas about how a wedding should be and how his bride should be. Why? Because it will take a lot of time, and already he is 35 years old, and if he goes on focusing on these things, he will not marry in this age, he says. Brie, it's called Natalia Stepanova, is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated. Now he thinks of Natalia. Anyway, Natalia, she is really a good housekeeper. That is, she is a really good homemaker, and at the same time, she is not that bad looking. She has some pretty looks, and at the same time, she is well educated. What more do I want? He thinks to himself. Who? It is Lumo. What more do I want? What am I getting a noise in my ears from excitement, drinks, and it's impossible for me not to marry. In the first place, I am already 35, a critical age, so to speak. In the second place, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. I suffer from palpitations. I am excitable and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment, my lips are trembling and there is a twitch in my right eyebrow. So he says that Natalia is the best choice for her, though she is only 25, but she is a responsible lady. She's a good looking and also she is well educated. And he says that if I am excited, I have to drink water and face her, and I should get married. If I miss this chance, already I'm 35, no one will marry me, he thinks. And it's really a critical age for me to talk. And the second thing is, he is always very excited. And whenever he is excited, he suffers from palpitations. What is palpitation? It is fast heartbeat. Okay. Because of excitement, his heart starts beating very fast. And he wants someone to take care of him, he says. And he also says that there is twitch in his right eyebrow. It is worst of all is the way I sleep. I no sooner get into bed and begin to go off when suddenly something in my left side gives a pull and I can feel it is my shoulder and head. I jump up like a lunatic, walk about a bit and lie down again. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there is another pull. And this may happen 20 times. Natalia Stepanova comes in. So he also thinks he has also some other disorder, especially when he sleeps. When he sleeps, his shoulder, it pulls up and then he gets up from his bed. And what does he do? He just jumps, just like a lunatic. Lunatic is nothing but a mad fellow. Okay, he jumps just like a mad fellow and he walks a bit. Okay, lie downs again, and this he repeatedly does nearly for 20 times. So as he is thinking of his drawbacks, his demerits, suddenly Natalia comes to the drawing room where Lumo was seated. Natalia, well, there, it's you. And Papa said, go there, go. There is a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vasilevich? So now Natalia, she comes and she says that my Papa has sent, saying that there is a merchant who has come to sell his goods. So go and talk. I don't know that it is you who has come, she says to Lumo. Lumo, how do you do, honored Natalia Stepanova? So now Lumo is asking, Natalia, how are you? Natalia, you must excuse my apron and negligee. We are selling peas for drying. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? Sit down. They sit themselves. Won't you have some lunch? So now Natalia, she will say, you have to excuse me because the dress which she was wearing, the apron and the gown was completely dirty as she was busy in doing her household work of shelling peas for drying. That is, she was removing the peas from the shells and putting it for drying. So she was busy in her household work. That is why she was in her regular gown, dirty gown. So she says, you have to ignore it, please. and after a long period of time you have visited my house, and would you like to have some lunch? Lomo, no, thank you. I have had some already. So Lomo refuses for the lunch and he says that already he has had his lunch. Natalia, then smoke. Here are the matches. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet that the workmen didn't do anything all day. So now they have a general discussion. So when Lumo he refuses to have the lunch, it is Natalia who will ask him to have some cigarettes to smoke. And she also says, take, here is the matchbox. And they start discussing on the weather condition. She says that the weather condition is today good. Yesterday since it was wet, wet means it was raining. So the workmen, the laborers who had come to work, they were sitting idle without doing any work as it was raining. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field cut. And now I am not at all pleased about it because I am afraid my hay may rot. So now Natalia, she asked Lumo that how much of hay you have cut and kept it in stock for your animals. Hay is nothing but the dry grass which they give it for animals to feed. Okay, she says that yesterday she was a bit very selfish. She asked her labor to cut the hay from the entire field and she has kept it in the stock. But still she says that I'm not happy with that. Now I'm feeling really very sorry for what I have done because since it is raining, my hay will get rotten because it will be exposed to the rain and it will start decaying. So it will be a total waste. I'm not happy with what I have done. She says to Lumo. I ought to have waited a bit. But what's this? Why, you are in evening dress. Well, I never. Are you going to a ball or what? Though I must say, you look better. Tell me, why are you got up like that? So as she is discussing, she says that I would have waited a bit. Okay, instead of asking my laborers to cut the hair, I would have waited, she says. And suddenly she notices that Lumo had dressed up very well. And she will ask, are you going to attend a ball? Ball is nothing but it is party. Lumo, excited. You see, honored Natalia, the fact is, I have made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you will be surprised and perhaps even angry. But, oh, it's awfully cold. So now Lumo, he was excited to say why he had come to her house. And at the same time, he says that you will be very curious and excited to hear. And after I saying, you will be surprised to it. And maybe, perhaps you may be even angry after whatever I say to you. So you should have patience to listen to me. And he also says that the weather is awfully cold today. Natalia, what's the matter? Well, so now Natalia wanted to ask what is the matter and she pauses for a few minutes. Lumo, I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia, that I have long since my childhood. In fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. So this fellow Lumo who was excited, okay, he did not have the guts to propose her at once, but instead he starts saying her the story that what had happened from when he is seeing her and all. That is right from his childhood. He is saying Natalia, he says to her and her family. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. So he says that my aunt, late aunt, he says, that is, his aunt is no more, she has passed away, and her husband, from whom this fellow Lumo, who has inherited the land, that is Oxen Meadows. Okay, so he says that we have great respect right from my aunt's time to your father and your late mother. That is, even this girl Natalia also has lost her mother. She has only a single parent, that is her father. So he says that we respect your family from that time. The Lumos and the Chubukos have always had the most friendly and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your bridgeroads. So he says that we are family friends right from our aunt's time and your mother's time. We are not only neighbors, having the houses side by fields and farms are very close to each other, just side by side. My oxen meadow is just beside your Bridgewood, he says to Natalia. Natalia, excuse my interrupting you. You say, my oxen meadows, but are they yours? So now Natalia was very angry at Lumo. Why? She claims the oxen meadows as hers, but not as Lumo's. Lumo, yes, mine. Natalia, what are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours. So now Lumo will say, yes, I am talking about the oxen meadows which belongs to my aunt, and from her I have inherited that piece of land. To that Natalia will say, what are you talking about? Are you aware of what you are saying? Actually the oxen meadows, they belong to us. That is the Chubukos, not you, she says to Lumo. Lumo, no, mine. Honored Natalia. Natalia, well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out? So Luma will say once again, no, honored Natalia, they belong to us. And to that, this Natalia will say, well, come on, explain me, how do they belong to you and not to us? Lumo, how? I am speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your rich woods and the burnt marsh. So Luma will say, I am talking about those oxen meadows which are in between your rich woods and the burnt marsh. Okay, that is the oxen meadow which belongs to me, he says. Natalia, yes, yes, they are ours. So she says, the same oxen meadow which you are saying, they are not yours but ours, Chubukos, she says. Lumo, no, you are mistaken. Honored Natalia, they are mine. So the argument starts from here. Okay, this Natalia, she claims the oxen meadow as hers, and even Lumo says that they belong to him, which he has inherited from his late aunt. Natalia, just think, Ivan Vasilevich, how long have they been years? So Natalia wants to know from Lumo that just think of from how many years you claim those oxen meadows as years. Lumo, how long? As long as I can remember. So Lumo will say, see, right from my awareness, from where I started understanding the world, from that time I can remember that they belong to us, which I have inherited from my aunt, he says. Natalia, really? You won't get me to believe that. So Natalia will say, I am not going to trust whatever you are saying. They belong to us, she says. Lumo, but you can see from the documents, honored Natalia, oxen meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute. But now everybody knows that they are mine. So Luma will say, if you want evidence, I am going to show you the documents which claim that they belong to me. Of course, there was a dispute on this land that it belongs to Chubukos or me, but this dispute has been settled in the court, and now everybody knows that not only you, but everybody who all are living in this area. Our neighbors also know that oxen meadow belongs to me, he says. Who? Lomo. There is nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuation to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of the meadows for 40 years and had got into the habit of regarding them as their own. When it happened that, so Lomo, he gives the explanation how this land belongs to him. Okay, that is Lomo's grandmother. She had given that oxen meadows to whom? To Natalia's great grandfather. Okay, great grandfather's laborers, peasants. Why? To use the land in preparing the bricks. In return, they did not pay any rent to Lumo's grandmother, but instead they used to provide her bricks. And later on, these peasants, they claimed that piece of land as theirs. Okay, so there was a dispute in the court which was later on settled and claimed as Lumo's piece of land, that is oxen meadows. In this way, he gives the explanation to her. Natalia, no, it isn't at all like that. Both grandfather and great grandfather reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means that oxen meadows were ours. So Natalia will say, no, no, I cannot accept this. Not only my grandfather but also my great grandfather had told us that our land starts from oxen meadows and ends in burnt marsh, she says. So I cannot trust whatever you are saying. I don't see what's there. is to argue about. So she says, what is there to argue? It is mine, that's it, she says. It's simply silly. So it is a silly matter. Just finish it off here. Ox and meadows belongs to Chubuko's family, she says. Hope you have understood till here. We'll continue in the next class, the remaining part of the lesson. Until then, see you.